Shall we check some answers really quickly? Let's look at some reporting verb pairs. Well, know and believe. They're both private, right? And they're both obvious. You can say things like everybody knows or everybody believes. So the difference here is factive and non-factive. If you know something, well, then the implication is that that's a fact. And if you believe something, well, it may be true or it may not. Suspect and suggest. Well, let's think here. They are both non-obvious, right? If you kind of have that suspicion or that make that suggestion, the implication is that you're the first person to do it, right? If you suggest Chinese food and the next person says, yeah, Chinese food for dinner, well, that second person didn't suggest it. They kind of repeated it or whatever, right? Well, they're both non-factive. You can suspect something and be wrong, just like you can suggest something and be wrong about it. So the difference here, public and private, right? Here's your private thing, suspect, but then when you make your suspicion public, that turns into a suggestion. Say and claim. These are both public, right? And they're both non-factive. You can say something and be wrong, and you can claim something and be wrong. The difference here, say, that's obvious, and we say things like everybody says. But we don't say things like everybody claims. That sounds like kind of a new idea. If we're trying to match some verbs to their descriptions, well, let's see, something that's public, something that's factive, something that's non-obvious. A good example is something like if someone has a secret and you make that secret public, right? The secret is real and people didn't know it before. What do we do with secrets? We reveal them. All right, but before you tell anybody that secret, now we're looking for something private, factive, non-obvious. Well, picture Indiana Jones in the jungle, stumbling upon some sort of treasure. This is a good example of discover, right? That's a mental process, but it's really there, and you're the first person to do it. Here we're looking for something that's factive and obvious, but private. And, well, don't overthink this one. An example of this would be, know, understand, be aware, anything like that. But, if you know something and someone else doesn't, well, you might remind them, all right? Remind really gets at the obvious idea. Okay.